Every single time you go online, you're leaving this trail behind you. Every click, every single purchase, every login. It's like you're just shedding little pieces of your private information all over the place. But what if? What if there was a way to move through that digital world without leaving yourself so exposed? A way to prove something is true, but without ever revealing the secret behind it? Well, guess what? That's not science fiction anymore. It's actually here. And for the longest time, this has been the deal, right? It's been the non negotiable price of admission to our modern world. If you want to get anything done online, you've got to hand over the keys. It's just baked into the design. The system demands your secrets. So let's back up for a second. For the last, 50 years or so, our entire digital economy has been built on this one single fatal flaw. And that's the idea that to prove you have something, you have to show it. That's it. That's the trade-off. It's the fundamental deal that has defined pretty much all of our lives online.
Just look at how this broken system works. I mean, think about it. Before, to get a loan, what did you do? You had to show them your exact bank balance, the whole thing. To log in somewhere, you'd literally send your password over to some server, just hoping it didn't get hacked. It was always this constant trade, right? Privacy for access. But now a whole new paradigm is showing up. We can finally have participation without all that exposure. That old, broken way of doing things, yeah, it's becoming obsolete. Okay, so how on earth is this even possible? I know, it sounds like pure magic. And honestly, in a way, it kind of is. What we're talking about here is this revolutionary cryptographic method called zero-knowledge proofs. So at its core, a zero-knowledge proof, or ZKP for short, is really just a method that lets you prove you know a secret, like a password or some piece of data, but without ever revealing the secret itself. Now, you might have heard of these specific types like ZK snarks or ZK starks, but don't worry about that for now. They all come from this one core idea. One of the best ways I heard it described was this. It's like the mathematical equivalent of a blindfold that can still read. How cool is that? And really, that's the perfect way to think about it. It feels impossible, right? Like a great magic trick. But here's the thing. It's all grounded in absolute unbending mathematical logic. So it's not a trick at all. It's a certainty. All right, so how does this quote-unquote magic actually work? Let's pull back the curtain and get into the logic. I mean, how can you really prove you know a secret without ever giving it away? Okay, let's use an analogy to make this super clear. Imagine there's a prover who comes along and says, hey, I know the secret key to this massive vault. And then you have the verifier, who's like, okay, prove it. But instead of asking to see the key, the verifier gives the prover this really complex challenge, something that's totally impossible to solve unless you actually have the key. So the prover goes ahead and solves the challenge, no problem. And just like that, the verifier is 100% convinced. The vault is proven to be openable, but the key, it was never, ever seen. So what does all this actually make possible in the real world? Well, think about it. This means you could prove you're over 21 without ever showing an ID with your address and your exact birth date on it. Or you could prove to a lender that you have enough money for a loan without showing them all your bank statements. And get this, you could even verify the integrity of a global election without knowing how a single individual voted. The implications here, they're absolutely massive. And look, this isn't just some clever concept for the future. No, this is a world-breaking technology that is already reshaping our most critical systems right now. I mean, we are talking about trillions of dollars. This is not some niche little tech for hobbyists. We have major institutions using ZKPs right now to tokenize and secure massive amounts of real-world assets. Some people are even calling it the largest wealth transfer mechanism in human history. That's the scale we're dealing with. And this goes so far beyond just personal privacy. What we're really talking about here is a fundamental upgrade to our entire digital infrastructure. This tech is making finance way more secure. It's allowing healthcare providers to verify treatments without ever seeing sensitive patient data. It's building these verifiable supply chains where you can prove something is authentic, but all the sensitive details stay hidden. It's a whole new foundation. This whole technology really represents a monumental shift in how we think about information and about trust itself. For decades, we have been building this digital world that is, by its very nature, just a web of exposed vulnerabilities. And now, we're leaving that vulnerable web behind. We're building something completely new, a fortress of verifiable truths, a place where trust isn't even required anymore, because the mathematical proof is absolute. So when the very architecture of trust is being rebuilt on a global scale, what does that mean for us? For you and me? Well, it means the rules of the game are changing completely. This technology isn't just some defensive shield. No, it creates a brand new kind of power, what you might call an asymmetric advantage. So really, the choice is becoming pretty clear. Are we going to cling to the old world, this age of exposure where our data is constantly the product? Or are we going to embrace this new reality and master the math of invisibility? And that, right there, is the ultimate lesson of this whole zero-knowledge revolution. True power isn't about what you share anymore. It's about what you can prove without sharing. The future, it belongs to those who hold the truth, but reveal nothing. Because in a world that is just flooded with infinite data, the ability to control what you prove without revealing what you actually know, well, that is the ultimate power. It is the final asset.